It doesn't need help.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Saturday edition of the Paranormal Portal. And the first live Paranormal Portal in about 7 days. This is a week. It's been a week. And thank God I'm not alone, because if this goes all to hell, at least I won't be in the train wreck all by myself. I have with me the big toe himself, my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard. How you doing, brother?
Did you just say you want me to be in the train wreck with you?
Absolutely.
What the hell does that... Well, can we be on the Orient Express at least?
I don't know what that even
means. Going through, like, Thailand, you know?
Oh, yeah, you never know. I mean, we can go wherever the hell we want. It's our show, right?
Sure, a little Thai in Thailand, yeah.
A little pad Thai. I'm all in.
Sure, you keep thinking that one.
That's what I would think. But welcome, everybody, and thanks for all your patience as I slowly recovered from the enigmas.
Goo.
Yeah, the goo that I was coughing up for a week. I've never been sick like that before. I gotta say this has been a hell of a weird deal. It's kind of like I've kind of called it like a hydra. You know, it's like I'll get sick with one thing, then get better. And then a new head comes up and, comes at me. And honestly, it's just been, I've been sick how much in the last couple months, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was headaches and then the sore throat, no voice. And it was a nasty cold in the middle. And it was just, something new all the time.
Nasty and cold in the middle, that's a bad steak.
It was. I've been having a bad steak for a while, but yeah, it's been really weird. However, I'm doing pretty good, and thank you all for the love and caring and concern of all you guys out there that messaged me and told me to take my time, and I did. I probably could have maybe done part of a show last night, but I just didn't have gas in the tank. I wanted to take one more night because I'd rather do no show than do a bad show. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that any show is going to be good, but at least I go into it with knowing that I can't blame my health. So I wanted to rest one more night. Thank you all for that, all that patience and support and encouragement and well-wishing. That was amazing. But we got a full batch of fun in the plate for us tonight. It's the night before Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Don, do you feel they're spooky?
Yes.
Just play along, god dang it.
Yes.
I feel it. I feel the veil is thin.
And we've missed you too, Cosmic.
I missed all you guys, yeah, for sure. It's strange not to be doing a show because
it's like not talking to your best friends for a long time.
Yeah, at least a week.
That's a long time.
But you guys have been great. Thanks for coming in, all of you, and hopefully more and more of you will come in. But we've got a lot on the plate tonight. Of course, we're going to open with the news, and then we're just going to get into a bunch of fun Halloween-y kind of stuff, which is basically like every other show we do all year. Because on the portal, it's Halloween all year round. Right?
He just means really spooky, and he's just talking about the two of us. Spooky. It's so spooky. It's
always spooky here in the portal. But anyway, we like to have a good time with it. And hopefully you will too.
Or else.
If you're not having fun here, that's your fault. At least that's what we'll say on record.
That's the
official version.
Sticking to it.
That's the official version, folks. If you're not having fun, there's something wrong with you. All right, so let's see how we do tonight. I don't know, Don, should we start off with the news?
The news.
All right, it's time for the news, folks. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and joined by my co-host and co-anchor here, Mr. Don Longbeard.
The millstone.
The brick. We're going to get into some Paranormal Portal news. Got some articles pulled up for you that hopefully will be at least mildly entertaining. But it's not all paranormal, but it's all not normal. So that makes it fit on our show for sure. And so the first one we're going to talk about tonight, after I close the Home Depot ad, I'm not giving them for free here, is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. And the article is, mammoths still roamed the earth when Egypt's pyramids were being built.
Yeah.
Well, they just suddenly figured that out, Don. I
know, obviously. Huh? We had no clue, except for the fact that they're, yeah, anyhow.
I saw it in that movie, 10,000 BC or whatever. And they were dragging blocks. I don't know if they did that in the desert. They had these mammoths all strapped with.
Did they shave them down?
I don't know. They didn't. They were all big and shaggy and stuff. Can you imagine how fast they would have died?
Yeah.
But let's see what they say here. A new study has shown that some Ice Age mammals survived much longer than previously thought. Letters. I know. It's those darn words. Words and stuff. It's where the hell was I? Well, it's easy to. Oh, okay. Well, it's easy to imagine that. I'm a little rusty, folks. While it's easy to imagine that giant Ice Age mammals such as the woolly mammoth and the woolly rhinoceros died out long before the advent of human civilization, research in recent years has shown that these animals survived much longer than anyone had realized. Previous studies had indicated that while most mammoths likely died out around 10,000 years ago, a few had managed to survive in small populations on remote islands off the coast of Siberia. There had even been suggestions that some of these isolated island populations had held on till around 4,000 years ago. Now, though, the results of a 10-year study involving the collection and analysis of 535 samples of sediment and permafrost from Siberia, Canada, Alaska, and Scandinavia have yielded evidence to suggest that mammoths had still been roaming the wilds of mainland Siberia as recently as 3,900 years ago. That's pretty recent, I guess. This means that these animals were still around after the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The researchers also determined that the woolly rhino had survived until around 9,600 years ago. The findings involved in analyzing traces of animal DNA found preserved in the sediments. I don't know how you do that. How do you dig through sediment and find DNA?
Well, of course, they're finding bones that have, still marrow in them. That's good for DNA. Because Josh Gates, the Expedition Unknown, he was up in Siberia, digging them out with the Russians up there. So.
Okay, well, there you go. I always wondered, like, they get this scanner, they just put dirt on and it scans.
DNA detected.
Exactly.
DNA detected.
An individual animal continuously spreads DNA through its lifetime in its dung, urine, epidermal cells, hair, containing millions of DNA segments as it wandered across the full geographic range, but only left one skeleton upon its death, which is far less likely to have been preserved, recovered, and dated, said study co-author Yu-Cheng Wang from the University of Cambridge. By sequencing only a few of these DNA molecules preserved in the environment, we can identify its existence and range. Wow. Really? That's like spooky. Mm-hmm. It is therefore not surprising that sedimentary DNA could produce a later and more accurate extinction estimate.
There you go.
There you go, folks. There were mammoths. There were mammoths in them there hills. So they say. But I don't know. I didn't know that.
I wonder how they taste with a little dry rub on them. I am a carnivore.
You are a carnivore, and you are true to your nature. It's like it does. I don't even have to wonder what would Don say. It's just whatever we're talking about. Just imagine it on the grill.
Yep.
That's where your head's at.
Mongolian deathworm, do it.
Big old deathworm. Oh my God. Here's the next article on our list. This one is a Bigfoot one. And this is from October 29th, 2021 on unexplained-mysteries.com, folks. And this is possible Bigfoot tracks discovered near Mount St. Helens.
Well, go figure.
Yeah, I know, but that is actually, it's on screen for those of you that are watching, and it is pretty impressive. I mean, that does look like a huge foot. My God. It looks like a swimmer's fin or something. It's so long, right?
Rachel says they probably taste like need more dry rub. I like the way you think.
Jesus, that's perfect. Well played, Rachel. Yeah, that's really very long and narrow. God, I guess we'll find out how long it is. Maybe they measured it. But it says a woman who'd been driving through Washington State recently came across something rather unusual. Posting on the Washington Bigfoot Facebook page, the woman, Jennifer Powell O'Neill, described finding an intriguing set of large footprints leading up a steep hill in the vicinity of Mount St. Helens. I had to climb up a bit to get to the first print, she wrote. There were 3 total to the top, and I couldn't safely get the rest of the way up to check at the top of the hill. She included photographs showing one of the footprints next to her shoe and her hand. I'm wearing a size 8 men's shoe. Wow, she's got big feet. I used to... Sorry.
Mystery solved! She's got big foot.
We know I was there. I used a piece of floss to get a proper measurement when I got home, and it was 21.5 inches long, she wrote. Geez, that's a huge one. I looked for possible prank by human, but couldn't have been possible.
Here's a prank. That's what she said.
But it would have been impossible to have made them with no actual footprints leading up. Also look for marks from bear claws in the dirt, and none.
Wow.
A few years back, I also took photos of other prints I found on this same road, and a few years before that, while camping, we heard calls I didn't realize could have been from Bigfoot all in this area. The recent photographs are certainly interesting and clearly show a footprint-shaped depression in the ground. Judging by the comparative size of her shoe, the print was also quite large. Whether or not this is really evidence of an unidentified species of bipedal ape that roams the wilds of Washington State, however, is a matter that will likely spark some lively debate. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, there you go. 21, what did she say? 20, what? How big were they? 21.5 inches long, 21.5. Wow. God, that's a really big print.
Shaquille O'Neal's 24, isn't he? He's got, let me find out.
His foot?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's got a 24-inch foot.
Shaquille.
Quille.
O'Neal.
Let's find out. From the news desk, Don is digging into a scoop.
Foot size.
Let's see how big Shaquille O'Neal's foot is.
23, shoe size 23.
Shoe size 23.
16 inches.
16 inches, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's still quite a bit smaller by 5 inches. But that's a big human foot, no doubt. Man, Shaq's got some huge pegs to stand on there.
Yeah.
But when you're 7'1", you probably need them. And I guess if you're even bigger than that, you need bigger ones too. That's why they call them big feet. But there you go, folks. That's from unexplained-mysteries.com, talking about some big feet, which makes sense because that's near the location of Ape Canyon.
That's Bigfoot's.
Bigfoot's. That's Ape Canyon area right over there, Don, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where.
Well, no. Ape Canyon's down in Portland or Oregon, right?
Ape Canyon?
Yeah.
No.
Over by Justin Goodarth.
Let's see. Where is Ape Canyon located? And the survey says
Washington
Mount St.
Trail.
Helens.
Yep. The Plains of Abraham on the southwest shoulder of Mount St. Helens. Yeah, okay.
Well, there
Wonderful.
you go.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yep. So I guess it makes sense that there's big feet there. Bigfoots.
Yep.
Bigfoots, big feets.
Bigfoots.
They're there, though, folks. There's even more prints lately, so I never doubted it. I believe they were there. All right, let's get to the next one. This one's coming from the deep files of NASA. Maybe not that deep, but the files of NASA. And this is this one's kind of interesting. I don't know. I guess they feel that they need to organize this stuff. But from NASA, according to unexplained-mysteries.com, NASA scientists call for agreement on how to announce evidence of aliens. You just say, "Hey, look at that there alien." Right, Don? I mean, is it harder than that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well.
Robert Wadlow,
Yeah.
18.5 inches.
Oh, yeah.
A 37 AA.
He was almost 9 feet tall, though.
There you go.
Yeah. He was enormous. Hey, there's aliens. That's how you announce aliens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think so, too. But being as they're like a government kind of setup there, they have to have committees on this stuff, folks.
Breaking news tonight.
They probably had...
The way to say there are aliens is there are aliens.
That's it. That's a new scoop right here on the Paranormal Portal. But I guess NASA seemed to need committees to figure that out. The space agency wants the world to agree on the best way to reveal that alien life has been found. These people, this is why.
And millions of dollars goes in the trash.
Yeah. Bloop. You might as well flush cash. Because that is exactly the kind of stupidity that goes on. How do you announce it? You go, there's an alien. That's it. Done. I could have saved them a bunch of money, folks. This is Washington and bureaucracy at its finest.
Have you ever heard of Geico?
Given the lack of a worldwide authority on all matters pertaining to the hunt for extraterrestrial life, it is currently unclear who would be responsible for announcing such a discovery or what they would say. How about whoever finds it goes, hey, there's alien.
Yeah.
It would certainly be a monumental revelation to answer one of mankind's most enduring philosophical questions, and something that could have serious repercussions for our society. But there's also another possibility, the discovery of evidence that, while pointing to the likelihood of the existence of alien life, might not be immediately conclusive, with further confirmation taking years or even decades to obtain. Tic Tacs, anyone? Just saying. Just going to throw that out there. In such a circumstance, it would be important to establish exactly how to announce said evidence without jumping to conclusions and without misleading people.
What is it? Sorry, we misled you. They are, Palladians. They are not aliens. They're Palladians.
Turns out they came from the inner earth, folks. They're not aliens.
Hey, stop saying that word. That's not PC.
That's Demi Lovato.
They're ETs or extraterrestrials.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, mister.
Yeah.
And we thought you were an authority on this. You've got a show and a microphone.
Yeah, anybody who spends any time here knows that I'm an authority on anything.
Exactly.
To this end, NASA scientists are now calling on the global community to establish a clear set of guidelines to announce such evidence should it be found in the not-too-distant future. Well, here's the thing. They just spun on a dime because up till about, 2017, they weren't even humoring the idea publicly.
Right.
And now they want to have committees to how to talk about it? Yeah.
Now they're worried about being publicly humiliated.
Exactly. So how can you guys cover our ass and we'll cover yours? That's what this means, folks.
Exactly.
When they start digging in the dustbins of the back rooms in these places and finding these files and evidences that will eventually come to light, this is how they want it to be. They want it to be funneled out in piece by piece.
Right.
And that's just ridiculous. This is all just ridiculous.
Harold Goodell says, just say they're here on a tourist visa. Why not? We're shipping unregistered migrants across the United States. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that too. Hey, you've got your ET visa, right? Yeah.
Just show up. We got healthcare and everything for them.
Oh, God.
Living stipends, you name it.
Hi, we're from Oswald.
Come on in, folks.
Come on.
I'm not good. I almost went fully political there. Sorry, I had to hit the brake. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yep.
You deserve one of these.
Thank you.
Anyhow,
wow. I guess deserve a short one. That was a Herculean effort, believe me, folks. Sometimes having a microphone is more of a liability than anything.
True enough.
The magnitude of the question of whether or not alone in the universe and the public interest therein opens the possibility that results may be taken to imply more than the observations support or than the observations intend. To address this, they argue there should be a clearly established set of objective standards for defining evidence of alien life in addition to the best practices for revealing it to the public.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. These people are just
that'll
insane.
Take another 50 years.
Yeah, no, they'll have...
sit in committee. Well,
they'll need funding for this, Don. They won't be able to do it.
Maybe we need Demi Lovato. Or whatever, whoever that was. Ariana Grande. I don't remember.
It was... Yeah,
it was Demi, yeah.
Yep. The key would be to avoid sensationalizing the discovery and to stick to the known facts. Well, hey guys, guess what? This frisbee with a bunch of 3 feet tall, big-headed guys came, and we're not sure where they're from, what's going on, but we're going to investigate. We'll get back to you.
They're just unregistered Americans.
These folks are just unregistered voters. Even the slightest hint of such a find could have a profound impact. There's no question, that for a lot of people that have been pooing the whole there is ETs, they are visiting. It's been funny because they used to, tongue in cheek, we're going to go over to Phil in the field who's going to talk to Bill, the farmer, who saw what he says is lights in the sky. That whole tongue in cheek thing that they would do, and just kind of like when they talk about Bigfoot. Right. Well, there's apparently hairy big men in the forest. Let's go over to Becky, who's talking to the retired ranger over there. And it was always these tongue-in-cheek kind of things, but ever since the release of the Tic Tac videos, and that pretty much was a solid disclosure as far as getting people to shut the hell up about it, and it's not a joke, and people aren't stupid for believing this. Right. And it's been a sobering thing. So I don't think we need committees. I think people all took that in stride. Didn't hear of any riots or any people jumping off of buildings or society grinding to a halt because people were questioning their existential reality. All of a sudden, they just thought, wow, that stuff's real. Go figure. What's on TV?
Yeah, exactly. What's next? Oh, it's a documentary on E.T.
Yeah, exactly. It's
a movie coming to you soon.
So you guys want to grab a beer? That's about as much impact as it had. Right. And all this sensational ideas that revealing this to the public would be very, very disastrous and could cause major problems. And people would have all kinds of troubles adapting to this new reality.
There'll be people jumping off buildings and committing suicide.
I mean, they made it out to be that people were this fragile little eggshells.
Well, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's go back to 1934, 35, War of the Worlds on the radio.
Sure.
People killed themselves. They're like, there's aliens coming, they're killing us all, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Ethan. Blah, blah, blah. So they're killing themselves because they don't want to get, oh, there's the bell.
There's a bell, folks.
Damn it.
I guess we're going to break. We'll be right back with more news in just a couple minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing?
Welcome
back to the Paranormal Portal. We are still underway with the news.
Because it snuck up on us.
Are you good?
Are you good?
All right. Yeah.
I was on a tirade about the.
Yes, I know.
Dang it.
Dang taxes and stuff, and gas and.
Oh no, prices. I was talking about before we went to break. Oh, that was the tirade during break.
That was the tirade during break. But, right. Ladies and gentlemen,
I did that off air for a reason, Brent.
Well, thank you very much.
I do have a sense of decorum sometimes.
That's perfectly good. We're among family here, Don.
That's true. Yeah.
These are all our family. You guys are our family, so welcome back.
Hey, I still got this rash.
And we're going back to commercial.
You said they're family.
They're family, but they're like cousins, not
just like cousins.
Depends on the context, I suppose.
Well,
but
are there any
hey, can I borrow $5?
Is there any second cousins in the audience?
Yeah. Hey. All right. I haven't rim shot it for a long time.
Yeah.
Shut up, Don.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Muted. Don's getting muted. That's it. He's lost microphone privileges for a while. We're going to give him a timeout over there while he settles down. Jesus. Going to get us demonetized and kicked off of TFR.
It'd take a whole lot to get kicked off TFR.
Absolutely. They love us for sure over there.
Oh, goodness.
But Titan says we're big spoon cousins. And thank you to Ethan. That was very sweet, brother.
Yes, yeah,
thank you so much. We missed you, but it's great that you made it, and try to make it whenever you can.
Yep.
Because you're part of this. You're part of this. And
one of us.
One of us. We are doing the news still. And I guess I won't go back into the whole, do we need to have committees to talk about there's aliens? I think we covered that. And
I think we're done with that one.
Pretty clearly, we just need to say, hey, there's aliens. We don't need a committee and millions of dollars of studies and stuff to figure out.
However, if we do have aliens and they start to want to come and stay on our beautiful blue marble, they need to pay taxes.
Absolutely.
Yep. They need to be taxed because they're obviously their spaceship costs more than everything I own and everything I'll own in the future.
Probably true. Gonzalo Castillo Jr. says ghost stories. We'll get to that, brother, but we still got more news. And the next article in the news that we're going to cover here is kind of cool because it has to do with the information about archaeological stuff. And I don't know. I didn't look. Let me make sure. I'm going to see how long this is.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. Yep.
They're about the same size today.
Yeah, not too bad. All right, so the next article on our newscast comes from unexplained-mysteries.com. Great site, by the way. If you get a chance, check out this site. They just got amazing articles over here. And they're perfectly sized for the most part for brief reads and just getting information in a hurry. This is the solar storm helps to date Viking settlement in North America.
Nice.
There you go. So new evidence has helped science pinpoint exactly when the Vikings were active on the continent. Christopher Columbus has often been attributed with discovering America, a feat for which he has gone down in history, but in reality the continent had actually been frequented multiple times by Europeans many centuries before the Italian explorer had even been born.
That's right.
Among the early seafarers to have reached North America were the Vikings, who were known to have constructed a way station at Lanis Meadows in Newfoundland around 1,000 years ago. Wow. Exactly when these early Scandinavian seafarers arrived and settled on the continent has remained a topic of heated debate among archaeologists, but now new research has been able to pinpoint when their settlement was active with more accuracy than ever before, and it's all thanks to a solar storm that hit the Earth in 993 AD. To narrow down the date, University Groningen archaeologist Margot what the hell is that? Queetums? Oh my gosh. And radiocarbon dating expert Michael D. analyzed samples of wood that had been collected in and around Lans Meadows back in the 1960s. The samples were surprisingly well preserved, and making a renewed analysis using modern dating techniques a feasible option.
Is that like Facebook dating? Swipe left.
Oof. When the researchers studied the samples, they were able to use the date of a known event, a solar storm that occurred in 993 AD, to pinpoint exactly when the trees had been felled. Their findings indicated that the Viking settlers had been working there in the year of 1021 AD. We always knew we were right around 1000, but 1021 is a huge deal, said archaeologist David Zori. This shows the Viking sagas are correct to within a decade.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
There you go, folks. The Norse were here. It should have been called Norse America.
Oh, yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm here all night.
Oh, no.
But let's get to the next one. I don't think there's much more here, or much more you'll put up with. Anyway, this is kind of cool. There's a discovery in Indonesia, actually, and this is about the fabled island of gold in Sumatra.
Mark, are you from Newfoundland?
Was he?
Mark in says here in Newfoundland. So, are you there? That'd be nice to know.
Wow.
The Norse are coming. The Norse are coming.
Yeah, that would have been a little scarier than the British. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark's in Newfoundland.
Oh, very cool.
He says they knew they were Vikings because that was AlphaGo. Said something about they knew it was Vikings because there were metal objects. Yeah, there wouldn't be metal objects like I would imagine. Well, of course, swords and daggers and things like that.
Sure.
Because
and even nails and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Things that the First Nations wouldn't necessarily have access to at that time,
right? Or
knowledge of. I'm kind of hypothesizing though.
Yeah, I don't think they were big on nails or anything. But here's another the article about the fabled island of gold discovered in Sumatra. Large amounts of gold and other treasures have been found by fishing crews in the Musi River in Indonesia, and it might sound like something from the plot of an Indiana Jones movie, yet the recent discovery of the treasures worth millions at the bottom of a river in Sumatra is in fact the real deal and could provide clues to the disappearance of the long-lost Srivijaya Empire. Srivijaya, sorry. According to legend, the island of Sumatra, also known as the Island of Gold, was once home to a civilization that possessed untold wealth thanks to vast gold deposits that naturally occurred there. Oops, hold on. The Srivijaya Empire disappeared sometimes in the 13th century, taking its wealth and secrets with it. Now, though, fishing crews working in the Musi River have reported the discovery of various treasures, including coins, statues, precious gems, and more that archaeologists now believe could be the relics left behind by this long-lost civilization. In the last 5 years, extraordinary stuff has been coming up, said maritime archaeologist Dr. Sean Kingsley. Coins of all periods, gold and Buddhist statues, gems of all kinds of things that you might read about in Sinbad the Sailor and think it was made up. Kingsley believes that these treasures are evidence that the Srivijaya Empire was very real indeed, a water world civilization that lived and worked on the rivers like today's boat people. Bobbing above snapping crocodiles, the local fishers, the modern sea people of Sumatra, have finally unlocked the secrets of Srivijaya, he said. Exactly why the Srivijaya Empire disappeared remains a mystery. However, Kingsley has speculated that it may have fallen victim to volcanism, a bit like Pompeii. It's also possible that a flood or tsunami could have wiped out their settlements along with the riverside. They are lost to the world, he said. And there's some pictures for those of you on YouTube that you can see. Wow. I mean, that's pretty wild. Wow. Just that handful of stuff. You imagine what that's worth?
Sure.
Just in the gold weight, not only the archaeological value attached to that, but wow, some beautiful pieces. So very cool. That's what they're finding in there. There's still a lot of gold mining going on in Indonesia, though. A lot. Okay, now
they said Sumatra was the city of gold, or the
island of gold.
Island gold. Yep. I know it is the island of coffee.
It is the island of coffee,
that
Sumatra. Yeah, in fact, that's still remains a big part of their industry. Mm-hmm. This is the last one for tonight in the news.
Oh, this is strange. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought this would be kind of cool because, of course, we're in the Halloween season. And what's more common in Halloween than ghost stories? Well, often wondered how far back in culture do these stories go? And I've thought that it's basically been since there's been civilization or people in tribes have had stories of ghosts. But here's kind of a neat archaeological article from unexplained-mysteries.com. Oldest known drawing of a ghost discovered. And it says a depiction of a ghost dating back to 3,500 years ago has been found deep in the vaults of the British Museum. Stories of ghosts and spirits have been around for millennia, as evidenced by the recent discoveries of what is thought to be the earliest known depiction of a ghost etched into an ancient clay tablet. The faded drawing, which originated in ancient Babylonia, has been kept in the vaults of the British Museum, where it has remained totally overlooked and unappreciated for years. Part of the Exorcist's Guide to Disposing of an Unwanted Spirit by addressing its woes, the tablet shows a lonely ghost being led with a rope to the afterlife by his female lover.
Oh.
It's obviously a male ghost, and he's been miserable, said curator Dr. Irvin Finkel, rather.
How do they know it's a male?
Because he's being dragged around by a woman. Of course, it's a male.
on a leash.
Yeah, of course, he's obediently following a woman on a leash. Come on. That's a guy, for sure. You can imagine a tall, thin, bearded ghost hanging around in the house did get on people's nerves. The final analysis was that what this ghost needed was a lover. Okay. Something that everybody knew was the way to get rid of the old bugger was to marry him off. And it's not fanciful to read this into it. I don't know. It's kind of an explicit message. There's very high quality writing here, and immaculate draftsmanship.
Wow.
The image on the tablet has previously been missed because it is very difficult to see unless it's held at a certain angle. On the back, there is extensive writing describing an exorcism procedure.
Wow.
At sunrise, towards the sun, you make the ritual arrangements and set up 2 carnelian vessels of beer.
Nice.
It reads, you set in place a special vessel and set up a juniper censer with juniper. You draw a curtain like that of the diviner. You put the figurines together with their equipment and place them in a position and say as follows, Shamash something. It just goes ... then. So I can't repeat the rest, but there it is, I guess. Yep, there's the ghost, and he's being led by a lady.
Huh?
So there you go, ancient Babylonia. That's pretty darn old, Don.
Why does it look like he has a digigrade leg?
Probably because it's etched into clay with probably a stick.
You sure he's not a dog man?
Might be a dog
That's
man.
why he's on a leash.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are.
They had to do something with those cynocephaly. After the wars, put them on a leash. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything like that. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a production of the Paranormal Portal News. Well, let's get back to the rest of the show, shall we?
Shall. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is now your regularly scheduled program. As you may well know by now, if you have been watching the show for any period of time, the phone lines are open if you want to call in. You got something Halloween-y to share, we'd love to hear it. You can call in to 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. Those are the numbers for fun right here on the portal. So if you want to share something, by God, we'll be here waiting. Right, Don? Yes, we'll be here waiting.
Because
with bells on.
You can wear the bells. They're sexy.
Hey, when is fallback?
November, I think, sometime. I don't know when.
Welcome to November. November 4th, actually. Okay.
Okay.
Somebody was asking. No, we do it on November 4th this year. So
okay.
There you have it.
November 4th. What day is that exactly? Friday? It must be next Saturday.
No,
must be a week.
Oh, you know what? It wouldn't be the 4th because tomorrow's the 1st. No,
they only do it on the weekends. It must be the 6th.
So it has to be Monday. Today's what? Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday. Monday's so it's got to be the 6th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's Thursday is the 4th, and they never do it midweek.
That's true.
Well, at least they haven't, as far as I've been keeping track. I not always keeping track, mind you, but
March 14th. March 14th. That's Sunday the 7th. Sunday the 7th.
Sure, like
a week from tomorrow.
The night of the 6th, the morning of the 7th. Yeah, okay. So like at 2 a.m. or something like that, it'll do its magic.
You know what? I don't even think I have clocks to set back. My phone does it by itself.
It's like magic.
Uh-oh, it's magic. Sorry. That was Ocasek in the Cars.
I know. Well, I didn't know that for sure, but wasn't sure what you were doing. But it was. I just felt it needed a sound effect. That's it. I'm just happy to push these buttons again, Don, because by God, I miss doing this. So you got the want-was. Uh-oh, it's magic. Don't you love the sound effect though? I just think that's cool. Sorry. I like my buttons pushed.
I can help.
You regularly do. Oh,
now I know where that one is.
Yeah. We're going to go to an article by. It's actually one of those conglomerate articles that. Curated articles. Yeah, they basically curated out of Reddit.
By Money Made.
This is Money Made. I know, I couldn't believe it. The last one we did was like 150 items. You know, it was huge. Remember that?
Yeah.
Took us like weeks to get through it because I didn't devote the whole show to it. Well, I don't even have a clock, so I don't know. What are we doing here? 7:47. We got about 10 minutes until the break, the hour break.
Oh.
All right. That's going to fly by. But
7:47. It's going to fly by.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did. Let me do this. Sorry, let me do this and delete that because I found there's a magic to this stuff.
What'd you do?
Well, I found out these.
Are you a wizard?
Well, now that you mention it, I didn't want to go public yet, but thank you.
Just make sure you flush.
And wash your hands. This is an article about these creepy kids are straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah.
And, I've read some things like this before. And again, fair warning, if you hear duplicates, it's a brand new article to me, but I can't account for everything that's in this article. So maybe there'll be repeats, but we'll hope it's all fresh and new for the Halloween season. Again, this is from moneymade.com. And I don't think it's Jess Silverberg is the author. Let me put it up on screen as long as we're here. Jess Silverberg, and it's from 2020, March 3rd. So it's not brand new, but it's brand new to me, and it's brand new to all of you now. So I'm not going to read the first thing. We're just going to get right into it. Number 1 is New Mummy. My little girl is 3. We've always had creepy incidents. But a few weeks back, things hit on a whole new level. She kept pointing near the bedroom window and talking about the boy with no eyes. She said he was crying because he wanted me to be his mom. Ooh, the boy with no eyes, Don.
Ooh.
That wants her mommy to be his mommy. That's so creepy.
Just no eyes, black eyes, blue eyes.
Yeah, but only the kid can see it apparently. So, I don't know.
Oh, well.
You want a hangman? My son stared at the corner and said, "Why is that man watching us? And why does his head like this?" Then he turned his head at a sharp angle, similar to how a hanging victim would look. Ooh, kids see stuff, man. They really do. Don't you think?
Yes.
Yes. Number 3. And now for my next trick. I was napping on the couch when my then 3-year-old was standing there with a felt toy in the shape of a saw. I woke up to him saying, "I'm going to saw mommy's head off." Nope. That was 1982 was awesome.
Settle down, Jigsaw.
Yeah. I wish I had the voice changer. Would you like to play a game? No, I would not. Number 4, something to look forward to. We were on a long drive through central western Pennsylvania, all farms, hills, forests, and low mountains. My 5-year-old out of nowhere says, "This will look really cool as a wasteland."
Let's get a bomb.
After everyone dies.
Oh, shit.
As much as we asked, he didn't elaborate on that.
5 years old? Yeah. Wow, already waiting to waste the word.
And he knows the term wasteland at 5. That's like Stewie?
Yeah, no.
Yes. That's creepy. You don't want your kids talking like that ever. Just for full disclosure.
FYI.
Yeah, just if your kid starts talking like that, it might be time for some therapy. Number 5, Midwest charm. Alone with my 4-year-old Midwestern daughter when she randomly whispers, "Ope, she's here," while staring out a dark window.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he says Opa or Ope. Ope?
Yeah, it's
Grandpa. Okay. Grandpa, okay.
Yep.
She's here. Yeah. That was by DC Winger 12.
Wow.
Number 6, time to Google conflict resolution.
Wow.
I'll never forget this chilling conversation with my then 4-year-old daughter. She asked, "Mommy, do you love me?" And I replied, "Of course, my darling. I love you forever and always, no matter what." Then she said, "Even after I kill," little brother's name,
Oh.
with the sweet as pie smile on her face and serious look in her eyes. Yikes. Wow. That was by Dancing Inside.
Wow. Wow.
These are not things you want your kids to say.
No. How old was she?
4-year-old.
Jeez, yeah. And it was a 5-year-old, yeah. And the 5-year-old before the story. It'd be great as a wasteland.
After everybody dies.
Scorched earth.
Yeah. Number 7, Singing Spirits. I was with my sister, her husband, and their 2-year-old daughter, and we were talking about loved ones that had recently passed. My father had died sometime recently, and my brother-in-law went and grabbed a picture of his mother, who had died in a car crash when he was 6, to show me. When my niece saw the picture, though, she started laughing. When we asked her what was so funny, she looked at us and said, "That's my special friend who sings to me."
Oh.
I still shiver just a bit thinking about it.
But that's sweet.
That is sweet. Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That was by Kaiser XI or maybe 11. Kaiser 11. Okay.
What's the number? IXII.
All right. Apocalyptic Visions is next. Doesn't sound like they're going to get any happier here, Don.
Nope.
My niece drew a picture of a man in her room that she kept telling her parents about. He had 2 different colored eyes, and one was gray. When asked why it was gray, she responded, "Because he can see the storm coming." That was by Herobotic. Okay. That's a little strange.
See the storm coming.
The storm's coming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what you need, gray eyes. Number 9, you're welcome. Would have been fine, son. My son says odd things. Usually they're funny, but this one threw me for a loop. He's 8. I was telling him how much I love him and thanks for being in my life. And he said, "I didn't choose this life. I couldn't control how it began, but I can control how it ends."
Wow. Wow. And it's going to end now.
That was by Raven Lily.
Wow. I can control how it ends. Yeah,
Wow.
Technically you're correct.
That's true.
Yes.
That's very wise.
Wow.
But disturbing. Number 10, will curiosity kill the cat?
Rachel says, "Out of the mouths of babe when possessed dolls aren't available."
No kidding. Oh my God. Just strange.
Geez. Wow.
Will curiosity kill the cat is number 10. My 6-year-old always has weird interests. She asked me to show her pictures of what's in our bodies, and I show her diagrams on Google, and she said, "No, I mean inside of a real body, like a dead person." I showed her some random picture of an arm surgery, and she was begging for more. Also, she always asked me to stop so she can look at dead animals on the road.
Oh, my God.
When my childhood dog died, she tried to sneak a look inside the bag while I was bawling. We were really pushing for the medical field, not the serial killer field. Only time will tell.
Well, that's like Paisley's mini-me. You know?
Oh, yeah?
She's like, "Can I see?" After we put the dogs down, "Can I see?" Because we had them cremated, right?
Oh, okay.
So they're in their boxes, with their names on it and everything.
Sure.
"Can I see?"
Oh.
Well, yeah, why not?
It's just powder, right?
Open it up. Yeah, it's just bone. It's like gray ash. What do you want? Like,
that's not as macabre though, because
it's not. It's
because
not so bad.
it's a big animal, and then
it's different than it was like mummified. Or
yeah,
soft and gooey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This one, however, is a little more disturbing.
Yeah, that's not so much.
All right, so that was by Monster is incorrect. Okay, number 11, Scaredy Cat. When I was about 3 years old, we had a cat that had stillborn kittens. I asked my father if I could make crosses for them, which he did. And as he was making them, I asked, "Aren't those too small?" He said, "What do you mean?" And I replied, "Aren't we going to nail them to them?"
What?
Like crucifixions.
Oh, my goodness.
After several moments of silence, he said, "We're not going to do that." Oh.
Yeah.
Tom Zarek, apparently he thought that's what you did with the crosses. A little conflation there, a little cross reference.
You mark the grave with the cross.
You don't make that the grave.
Rachel, we make really big donuts here in Idaho.
What? Oh, there's the bell, folks.
Great timing.
Better leave that one left alone, folks. But we'll be right back with more of The Portal in just a couple minutes. Don't go away.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. Finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
I've never sensed anything Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that's different from themselves. Her life force is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
All right, folks, we are into hour number 2.
Number 2.
Just begun. We've just opened hour number 2.
Thank you, Lovey.
Fresh from the oven. That's glorious.
Thurston.
Jesus, you cannot be lovey. This is not the way this is rolling, dude.
We can't be lovey. Aw,
I love you, brother, but
I thought we had a bromance going.
We are brothers, no doubt about it. But
We are family. Sorry, Sister Sledge.
sometimes they're just not words. You know, I just don't know what to fill that awkward silence with. Just an exhale, maybe.
It's called a silence for a reason. Yeah, exactly. Though it's a little bit more emphatic. Though it'd be like
nervously darting eyes. And
excuse me. Pardon me.
Look at the time. All right, we are into an article from MoneyMade.com right now, and it's been some creepy kids stuff. And boy, they're creepy. They are some weird things these kids have said.
Hi, Gigi.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you all. Thank you all for coming in, all 60 plus of you. You are wonderful people. It just fills my heart with warmth and love.
Right now I see 69 and 46 likes.
Awesome. Oh, well, that's a little bit of disparity, but maybe they haven't made up their mind yet.
Yeah, well, we should get to 69 likes.
We should. I'm not sure. Again, we're at another one of those crossroads, Don. Not sure how to travel forward on that.
Sometimes it's best just jam it in reverse and get the hell out.
Let me start reading, folks. Number 12 on our list as we're covering these. You can take the boy out of the helicopter, but you can't take the helicopter out of the boy. I was asking my 3-year-old if he remember what happened. What did I miss? Do I want to know? Do I want to know?
How did that get up there?
What happened?
The helicopter out of the boy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's funny how differently our minds work, Don. There's some places I just can't follow. I was asking my 3-year-old if he remembered being born. Then I got to asking him if he remembered what happened before he was born. Without missing a beat or any prompting from me other than the question, he goes, I was in a helicopter that goes round and round and round, then boom, onto the ground.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that was by Old Dirt. Hey, thank you, Sheldon. I'm glad I'm sounding good. It seems like it's holding together. My voice is a little scratchy, but it's this is the most talking I've done for a week. So
and
far,
it was
so good.
Glorious.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have enjoyed that silence, but hopefully none of you. Number 13, I'm a rocket man. I was sitting with a kid once near a campfire, and he seemed to be lost in thoughts. And I asked him, what is he thinking about? This 6-year-old said, I wish I was high up in space and the whole world was on fire. That would be beautiful.
What the hell? It was a 5-year-old that said something about the wasteland. Yeah. We had a 4-year-old girl talking, a 5-year-old boy talking, and another 6. Oh my God! What is it with 4, 5, and 6? They just want to burn the world.
Yeah, I don't think they've quite made the whole
scorched earth theory. Settle down, John Connor. God, Jesus.
It would be beautiful, he says. Wow. Just look at the sun, kid. Look at the sun.
Yeah, that's exactly what
already,
it looked like.
That's already on fire, and I take care of 2 stones of that.
Get over it.
His fascination with watching something burn and him being a threat to the rest of us.
Why you guys in the market for a new house? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Wiring problem.
Yeah, isn't your kids wired wrong?
Yeah, it's mental wiring. Number 13, I'm a rocket man. I was sitting with a kid. Oh, that was when I just read it. Sorry. Still, I'm a rocket man. Number 14, creepy conversations. So my son and I stood his then 2-year-old daughter. My son and I stood watching his then 2-year-old daughter as she stood looking, laughing, and chatting away in toddler gibberish at nothing in a completely empty hallway. We just watched her and looked at each other with a confused look on our faces. Same granddaughter, some years later, still sleeps with me when she visits because that girl scares her. Oh. That's all she'll say because evidently the girl told her not to tell anyone about her. Oh. That was by TJC 528. Wow. Oof, that's creepy. Yeah, I don't think that's an imaginary friend. That's an imaginary terror. No, probably not imaginary at all. Number 15, culinary creep. Sorry. Just in my head.
So I didn't go there this time. He did. He just didn't say anything.
Playing, you see, that's that filter thing that I'm talking about.
What's that?
That I actually have.
I think mine's like the battery in the smoke alarm that got removed and everybody forgot to put back. You know, it's like why didn't the fire alarm work? I don't know.
Like some cars have a muffler and others have a straight pipe.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying. That's the safe thing to say right then. I'm just saying.
Oh, that depends on your definition of a straight pipe.
Oof. Oh, Jesus. We're just going to keep getting closer to that drain, aren't we? Doesn't matter what I do. Playing tea party, little one keeps passing me cake. Well, I dutifully eat each piece she passes me. It was poison. You died. Oh, okay then. And then she proceeded to chop me up, mix my chopped parts with some spice in a pot, and then serve the resulting stew to her mother.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
Wow.
Jeez. That was by Zenithos. Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Number 16.
Cannibal Hector right there.
Cannibal Hector. That was pretty good. Cannibal Hector. We need that t-shirt, Don.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Number 16, child premonitions. I was on the bus and this little girl and her mom get on. She takes one look at me and bursts into inconsolable tears. Her mom is doing everything she can to make her stop, but to no avail. Eventually, the mom just says, forget it, and takes the kid off the bus. But the kid starts wailing more and says, Mama, don't go. That girl is going to die soon.
Oh, my gosh.
I was a little sketched out for the rest of the day.
You think? Wow.
That was by Complete Crap. And that's the name.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeesh. Number 17, pull the trigger, piglet.
Oh, boy.
This is not start. That's not a good start.
Why, Pooh? Why? I need bacon.
My sister's older.
Smoked that pig, didn't we? Oh, that didn't sound good.
Jeez. There's nothing has sounded good from that side of the show so far. My sister's older daughter is a saint, but the little kid is a psychopath. My sister and brother-in-law indulge every crazy behavior of hers, and one of the worst was last year when one of my sister's ureters broke, and she had to get a tube from her kidney and out of her body into a bag. And while said ureter healed, she was pretty ill and was in the hospital for a bit more than a month. Wow. Anyway, the second night she's back home, little monster pulls the tube out of my sister's kidney, requiring her to get emergency surgery. The kid's excuse? She knew that doing that would hurt mommy, but my sister, was getting so much attention from daddy since she got home. Attention little monster kid, deserves more. The worst part is that my sister and brother-in-law thought that was cute. Whoa. The crazy part is that my older niece would have gotten away with something. Would have gotten away with something like that. Is that my older niece would have gotten away with something like that?
I think they would not.
Would not have gotten away with something like that.
But
So
the little sister. Right?
yeah, so I don't really get why they spoiled the younger one so much. I know she's my niece, but I just can't see past those behaviors and like her. She's 6 years old.
Can you imagine that kid pulling that out? And,
Yeah. Yeesh.
oh,
That was by Kashmira
Oh,
_ no
gosh.
man. Wow.
oh, you get the I can't say that on air. Things just crawled back up where they aren't supposed to be. That's that kind of.
That's a diabolical child.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's no empathy there at all.
Mommy,
is there?
this is gonna hurt. Like, oh my.
I'm doing this for me, Mom.
It's I hurt you because I love you. I hurt you because I love Daddy. Oh no.
Yeesh. Ugh. Number 18, I live on your tears.
Whoa.
Years ago, my wife and I had a very heated argument. Our dog was into the room just as things hit their peak. My wife rushes into the bathroom crying, and I'm left sitting on the bed feeling low. Listen to my wife sob on the other side of the door. Our kid looks up at me with a smile and says, "Mommy's crying." And then proceeds to laugh out loud enough for Mom to hear. And with that, I was in trouble for something entirely new. That was by Polita Culis. Polita Culis? Pelliculis? I don't know. I'm not sure what that name's doing. Number 19, paranormal toddler activity.
Wow.
As I looked at the video monitor to make sure my 2-year-old daughter was finally asleep since she hadn't made noise in a while, I see her standing up in her crib. She slowly bends over to the side, cocks her head towards her knee, and says, "Hi." Exactly how did she know I was looking at the monitor at that exact moment? Plus, the way she was bent at the waist looked humanly impossible, and the night vision function made her eyes look so creepy.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That was by L. Karkuf.
We are legion.
Yeah. What you doing? That's so creepy.
Hi.
That's really twisted when you think about it, right? I mean, it's one thing to conceptualize, but I'm just thinking about what does that look like, and it's absolutely terrifying.
It's crazy. It's
absolutely horrible.
When you think in pictures, like, oh my God, that's why I like pull porter so much. It's like, oh my God, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Number 20, morbid obsessions. My little girl expresses love in an special way.
Saltburn repeat.
She says she loves me and my husband so much that she'll follow us around till the day we die. Oh. Or saying when we die, she'll cut off our heads and put them in a jar to carry around with her forever, always, to have us with her. She says this stuff to us all the time, and she's always so smiley when she does it.
You know what? Just tell the kid I want to be cremated, and you can have everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Carry me around in a freaking coffee cup. I don't care.
That was by Black Devil White Demon.
Wow.
Sounds like some other issues there.
So, yeah. Can we go back up to the story about exorcisms?
No kidding. Number 21, love or death. My 5-year-old is eating some chocolate, and I told him not to get any on the floor because Sadie, my family's dog, would eat it. Him, then she'll die? Me, yeah. Him, Mommy, I thought you don't like Sadie. Me, what? Well, yeah, I don't. Him, and you don't want her to die? Me, well, you can dislike someone, but that doesn't mean you hate them enough that you want them to die. Him, oh, so it's okay if you don't like someone. You don't have to kill them or anything, right? Me, right. Oh, okay, thanks, Mommy. He's just been going around expecting to kill people he doesn't like all that time. I'll never know.
Oh, wow.
He just wants them done. I don't like you, you're done. Oh, hi, Sayalis.
Cold Stares. I think it was Cold Stares told a joke.
What?
I said something about a kid and dad were walking past a graveyard with snow on it and everything, and the kid looks up and says, I see dead people. Or I see dead people. I-C-Y, I see dead people. I screwed that one.
Gotcha.
That one's doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
That's this one.
This one?
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Which one?
This one?
That one?
That one.
Oh. Wasn't sure where we're going with that one. It's cute. Number 22, Trouble Down Under.
Cannibal pickling. Oh my God, Rachel, you're as twisted as I am.
Rachel gets it twisted. Might be their new name.
Could be fun.
Number 22, Trouble Down Under. My kid's Catholic school is over 100 years old. There's a basement under the gym that's used for storage. I was subbing once, and during recess, one of the kickballs...
In the basement?
Subbing for the class, I think.
Okay.
One of the kickballs rolled down the stairs. A little girl was standing at the top of the stairs yelling, "Just throw it up to me." I went over and asked who she was talking to, and she replied, "That big man at the bottom of the stairs." I went down, and there was nobody there. There was no other way in, and hardly anyone ever went down there. I asked some of the other kids if they have seen the man before, and they said, "Yeah, but sister told us not to talk to him." I asked them to describe this sister. They described a nun. There haven't been nuns at this school in 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So a guy at the bottom of the stairs and nuns running around talking to kids that aren't really there.
So here's the thing, though. You know, I always presumed, and maybe it's naively, but it comes up every once in a while. But if people dedicate their life to a religion, you'd think that, okay, well, you know, you get to go. You get to
you're
get
going to heaven. Yeah,
you got the golden ticket kind of thing.
There you go, yeah.
Here
we go, Charlie.
Because you dedicated your whole life to this, and it must mean, you know, that at least that devotion and passion should be worth something. But I can't tell you how many stories we've had where it's been these ghostly nuns are hanging around. Not sure if that's a good thing or not.
Never made it, never will.
Oh, no. But for whatever case, that is curious, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Wow.
That's a really cool story, though. Number 23, that line was an unwelcome delivery. When I was play arguing with my 7-year-old kid, and she said she wished she was dead, like my miscarried baby. Oh. Savage and a brat. That was by Mark Usmas.
Wow.
Yeesh. Number 24, deeply disturbing. I was once babysitting a kid who turned out to be crazy. I thought it was pretty weird to be babysitting a 13-year-old when I was just 16. But after a while, we became friendly, and he started to open up to me for who knows what reason. He then decided to casually tell me about how he assaulted a 9-year-old. I immediately realized that I was there because his mom didn't want to leave him alone with his 11-year-old sister.
Wow, yeah.
Oof. That was by BPD Team. Yeah, that's a little weird then. That kid has some issues. Number 25, From Above. My little sister was about 3 years old when we were getting ready to go to our uncle's house for dinner. She's being really fussy and didn't want to get changed, so my dad asked her, "Don't you want to go to Uncle Dan's house?" She then responded saying, "No, I don't like the man in the ceiling."
Wow.
We thought it was an odd thing to say, but didn't give it much thought. A few years later, we were helping my uncle sell this house, and it came out that someone had died by suicide in the attic back in the 90s.
Wow.
Ooh, that was by the K Killers. Huh. Yeah, I guess that would leave an imprint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at for time? Oh, we're good. We're good. It was when I was a teenager. This is 26. Cut it out. When I was a teenager, my friend's kid's brother had a ton of psychotic tendencies. Couple of examples I remember is him getting their dog in a cooler and suffocating it because it was being annoying. Also, he once ran into my friend's room, handed me a knife, and went to the kitchen and sliced his own arm, and then proceeded to tell his parents that I cut him. What is even weirder is that even when they saw me holding a knife, they didn't believe him for a second. Well, about 3 years ago, he shot his dad. So I'd say he is a monster. Yeah, that's all kinds of broken. Yeah. Jeez. Ugh. I don't know how people get that broken. I don't understand it. That's just something misfiring from birth, right?
Yeah.
Oof. Wow. That's pretty troubling. Number 27, Mama's Boy. When my oldest son was about 3 years old, he said, "Mommy, I like you better than my fake mommy." Naturally asked, "Who's your fake mommy?" He replied, "You can't see her, but she tucks me in after you do." Okay, then. That was by Labele, 87. Labile? I don't know. Anyway, it's by that person. Fake moms. Yeah, they're not as good as the real thing. Excuse me.
Gigi says she has a Halloweeny joke.
Well, I'm sure we should probably hear it, but I don't know if I want. I don't know where this is going, but keep it safe. Number 28, Little Devil. I woke up to my almost 4-year-old standing at my bedside, staring right at me. Once my eyes were open, she said, "I brought the monster in here," then went back to bed. Thanks, kid. I had you so they'd go to your. I had you so they'd go to your room. Not from State Farm Jake. Cute kid.
Okay, I'm waiting for the punchline. Gigi says there are 3 vampire bats hanging as bats do and stuff. One named Brent, Sheldon, and Dawn. Okay, now we're waiting for the punchline.
Oh, jeez. Where's this heading?
So what were the other 2 named? I mean, that's a mouthful. Brent, Sheldon, and Dawn was one of theirs. One of them.
3 vampire bats hanging as
She
bats
said
do.
one named Brent, Sheldon, Dawn.
No, there's commas. There's actually a comma.
Yeah, but what were the other 2 named? She said only one of them was named that. Just because it's got commas in it doesn't mean anything. Sorry. Anyhow, did I see Lucky in here?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. Hi, Lucky.
Miss Lucky, how you doing? We're lucky you're here. All
We're
right.
lucky we're here.
We're lucky we're here. Yeah, that's true,
it's
too.
getting late. It's dinner time. So the first bat, Brent, flew away and came back with a little blood on the tips of his vampy teeth, saying,
Oh, this is going to take a while. Wait till it's finished. I mean, I think I've heard this joke before. And there's a sequence of events.
"Oh, okay."
Yep. So number 29, Not Cool. I had a music teacher who took his 4-year-old daughter to an old theater in Alaska. She started crying immediately when she walked in. So he took her outside and she stopped crying. He took her back in. She started crying again. So he took her outside again. He asked why she was crying. And she said, "That's where the people with no eyes watch you."
How do you know they're watching you?
Well, I guess they're facing her. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be pretty creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy. That was by Elk Attack. Elk_attack. Number 30, Stay Out of the Woods. This one's not too bad. Now, my now 11-year-old daughter had an imaginary friend when she was 5. Her name was Elizabeth, and according to my daughter, she has dark hair, but some of it is orange, looking like it's dirty from Kool-Aid. She has bloody and messed up leg, and she limps because she was run over. Not run over by a car, because it didn't have an engine. She is darker than me, like she has a really good tan. As though that wasn't creepy enough, one day she asked if she could have a sleepover with Elizabeth. We say, sure. Then my 5-year-old starts walking towards with woods in a backpack. I rush out to stop her and remind her of our rules about not going into the woods alone. She's really upset because apparently Elizabeth lives in the woods, and that's when the sleepover was supposed to happen. It gets creepier a year after all this. The county finally decided to repave the nearby road. When speaking with the project manager, we found out that the road was actually the end of the Trail of Tears, and that somewhere back here was the site of an ambush that resulted in the deaths of several children and adults where they were crushed by rushing wagons. Oh, who dat crit. Wow. So this child was seeing a little native girl. Man, that's sad. They're sad that they still linger, you know? That's the part that I think is tough. Did we got it all?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Number 31, Mommy's Little Ambulance Chaser. We had our young cat fixed, and she just slept and rested all day coming back from the vet. My 11-year-old son asked, very concerned after watching the cat lying around all day, "Do you think she is sad because she can't have babies?" "Oh, so sweet," my 7-year-old son asked. "So if she doesn't recover, would we get a cash settlement?" So if she doesn't recover, would we get a cash settlement? That's cute.
Why do I get to be the ass of that joke?
Is it done?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, why don't you read it now?
Okay, so Gigi thinks she's funny. Okay, so let's go back up here. There are 3 vampire bats hanging as bats doing stuff. One named Brent, one named Sheldon, and Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Not one named Dawn, just one named Dawn.
Okay.
It's getting late and it's dinner time. So the first bat, Brent, flies away and came back with little blood on the tips of his vampy teeth, saying, I think she say teeth. Okay. And Sheldon and Dawn Bat.
Okay.
Ask, wow, you came up Where did you drink? And Brent Bat said, you see that man over there? I drank his blood. All right. So then Sheldon Bat says, boy, I'm hungry. Excuse me while I go get a drink. Sheldon Bat flew away, came back with blood all around his mouth. Don Bat was like, dang, you came up. I don't know what that means, but anyhow. The Sheldon Bat was saying, yep, you see that family over there? I drank blood from all of them.
Okay.
Then it was the third bat's turn. Don, the most specialist bat, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. He flew away and came back with his whole face covered in blood. Yeah. The other bats gasped in amazement and asked, how many people did you drain? Don Bat says, you see that wall over there? I didn't. That's not funny.
Oh, that's funny. So you just ran into a wall over and over. Oh, poor guy.
I guess that makes me Don Bat.
There's the bell,
There's
folks.
the bell.
So we're going to go to break. We'll be right back for the last segment of the Paranormal Portal tonight. Don't go away. There's still much more fun.
Not for Gigi.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we close out this last segment of our show. It's gone so fast, but I'm thrilled to bring you the closing segment of the show tonight, which will be an article written by our wonderful friend, Mr. Brent Swancer, who writes for MysteriousUniverse.org.
Maggie says, I loves the Brent and the Dons. There should not be more than me. It should be singular, not plural.
There's Dons. There's lots of different U's, though. Depends on which one,
in my head.
Which one you bring to the shows. It varies from night to night.
Oh, my goodness.
But we're going to read an article by Brent Swancer.
Gigi.
Okay.
I've had a case of Brent and Dons. Had to use a topical cream.
It'll spread. If you don't get on top of it with that cream, it might spread. I'm just saying. All right, so we're going to cover an article by Brent Swancer from MysteriousUniverse.org. He's a great friend of ours here on the show, and he also has a Facebook group if you want to get involved with that. He's a wonderful guy, and he's always posting his articles both there and on Paranormal Portal Fans page on Facebook as well. But if you want to get involved in his group, it is called Dark League Paranormal. It's a real active group. Some great discussions going on over there all the time. So check it out. And always his work is posted there too, which is awesome because Don and I have been a fan of his work forever, since early days of doing the Paranormal Portal. And it's really cool to have met him now and had a chance to talk with him here and there. Just a fantastic guy. So
mostly there, but
yeah, there mostly. But we're going to cover that article now, and it's actually very, very timely for the holiday season of Samhain, Halloween, whatever you want to call it. It is Strange Tales and Legends of Vampires in Greece. And definitely go check out MysteriousUniverse.org as well. It's a great site, thousands of articles.
Lots of great writers.
Amazing writers over there. The best, I think, is Brent Swancer, but everyone else is a very amazing close second.
Close third or fourth.
Yeah, so
Brent takes up the first two. I mean, you can only be amazing one time, so when you're great, you got to be number two.
Yes. All right, so this is by Brent Swancer, written October 13th, 2021, so it's very fresh and new. Hot off the presses, as it were. As far as legends and lore go, those of the undead have managed to stretch out beyond geographical boundaries and have taken up a place within the human psyche. Across geographical divides, there have long been stories and lore on what we in the Western world call vampires, and such tales have pervaded the legends of many lands. Here we'll look at the mysterious stories of the vampires of ancient Greece, stretching back from history all the way up into the present. The ancient Greek version of the undead vampire as we know it was called the Virkolakos, also called the Virvolakos. Anyway, there's several different versions of the name. I'm going to die on all the last three. So, and the various other regional names, and although mostly similar to the tales of vampires told in neighboring Slavic countries, the name Virkolakos actually comes from the Slavic root words meaning wolf, and originally had the meaning more like werewolf. Oh. The literal translation comes from the term, how do you say V and B? Right next to each other.
Well, it's VBLK.
Yeah, it only gets worse after VB. I wasn't even sure where to start. But whatever that is says, which originally meant wolf pelt wearer. Wow. The creatures themselves were different in some respects to traditional European vampiric lore. To become a Virkolakos. Man, I just got my voice back and I got to beat the hell out of my tongue here. One was not bitten, but could be turned through any number of other ways, including living a sacrilegious life, being excommunicated, or being buried in unconsecrated ground, as well as eating the meat of a sheep which had been wounded or killed by a wolf, or a werewolf. In some traditions, a werewolf would become a vampire if killed and retain its wolf-like features. Once a person changed, the real spooky stuff would begin.
It's starting to sound more like a skinwalker.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Depending on the region, Virkolakos had differing characteristics and temperaments, but they were always described as having a ruddy complexion and bodies that swelled up so that all its limbs were distended. Wow. It is hard, and when tapped, it thrums like a drum. Most stories have them emerging from the graves at night to roam about looking for prey, with them eating flesh, particularly livers, rather than drink blood like traditional vampires. Many of the tales say that the Virkokelas will go around villages knocking on doors, calling out the names of those who reside within. Ooh. The lore says that if one fails to answer the first knock, the vile entity will move on. But if they are to answer the door, they will either become of the creature's next meal or become a Virkokelas themselves. In many cases, these creatures were thought to be dead human bodies animated by demons. It was said that in order to kill one of these sinister revenants, the best bet was to catch them as they slept in their graves, much like a traditional vampires, with some lore saying this could only be done on Saturdays, today for instance. Once found, they could be impaled with a stake, beheaded, cremated, or a priest could come in to perform an exorcism to drive away the demon that was animating it. There were other precautions that could be taken against a Virkokelas as well. People who were suspected of potentially becoming Virkokelas would often be buried, pinned by millstones or other very heavy objects, and were placed on either their heads or chests in order to trap the body in its grave, or alternatively nailed down into their coffin. Wow. And corpses were also occasionally buried with their heads facing down to thwart their efforts to dig their way out. More direct was the practice of simply dismembering the body and burying the pieces separately, with the most common parts being the feet and the head. Wow. At other times, earthly objects such as scythes or sickles were placed near the grave to satisfy any demons entering the body, or a wax cross or a piece of pottery with the inscription "Jesus Christ Conquers" could be placed on the corpse to prevent the body from becoming a vampire as well. Many archaeological digs have turned up bodies in states like this, underscoring how seriously the populace pursued keeping the undead away. The belief in the Virkokelas was widespread through many areas of Greece throughout the ages, and there were many tales of encounters with these bloodthirsty beasts all the way up into the modern times. One notable case of the vampires of Greece was documented in 1701 by the French botanist Joseph Piton de Tournefort, who traveled through the Greek island of Mykonos, and heard many stories of the Virkokelas. I've been saying it wrong the whole article, haven't I? Virkokelas. I'll try to get that right. One in particular was a rather mischievous one who was known to harass people and steal their alcohol.
Wow.
At least you got a good taste, you know what I'm saying? As well as vandalize property, all while strangling people in their sleep to eat their livers. Piton de Tournefort wrote of actually witnessing the townsfolk dig up the grave of the suspected Virkokelas, which held a fresh-looking corpse, and watched on in astonishment as they cut its heart from the body. The creature would nevertheless apparently continue marauding about, after which it was cremated and the attack ceased. Oof. Another famous tale comes from us from the 1800s, from the oral accounts collected by English traveler and economist Robert Pashley. In his book Travels in Crete, the story takes place on the Greek island of Crete, where a shepherd was tending to his flock as the sun set beyond the horizon. A storm began brewing, and the humble shepherd hid himself away in an old abandoned church to ride it out. Not long after he dozed off, he was awoken by a voice telling him to get up. The frightened shepherd told the voice that he would do so if he was promised not to be harmed, to which the voice answered he meant no harm. After this, a Virkokelas appeared in the gloom, after which it said, "Friend, you must not go away, but sit down here, for I have some business which I must go after. But I shall return within the hour, for I have something to say to you." The shepherd knew that he had no choice but to do as he was told, and he waited there until the creature came back to him with a fresh liver in its hands, which it claimed it had procured from a newlywed couple. The Virkokelas then served the liver and invited the shepherd to join him for a meal, its eyes glowing in the dark. The shepherd could not bring himself to eat any of the liver, but had a bite of some bread that was also offered, merely watching in disgust as the creature ravenously devoured its meal. Blood splattered on its face, and the table below When it was finished, it merely warned, "Friend, this which you have seen you must not mention. No, for if you do, my 20 nails will be fixed on your children and yourself before stalking off into the night to leave the shepherd alone."
He was just told he's going to rip him to pieces with his hands and feet.
Obviously, he didn't keep his mouth shut, so we'll see how this worked out. When the shepherd told the villagers about what had happened,
There you go.
he's like, guess what, everybody? The following morning, they formed a lynch mob to hunt the entity down at the abandoned church, where they found the tomb of the creature. When it was opened, they found it to contain the very same man the shepherd had met, lying peacefully, as if in sleep. The angry mob then went about cremating the vile thing, but as they did, a drop of blood hit the shepherd's foot and instantly disintegrated it.
Wow.
Perhaps as revenge for his betrayal. This tale was told to Pashley as a real event when he passed through the region. Not a legend, but a supposedly true story. And it is hard to know what to make of it. Indeed, the island of Crete is full of stories like these, and in the 19th century they would send the bodies of possible Vircolicus to the island of Santorini to be buried away from the populace. As recently as World War II, there were fears of the Vircolicus in Greece during the Great Famine in 1941 and 42. About 300,000 Greeks starved to death. Wow. And many of these were unceremoniously buried in mass graves. Many people in rural areas were so afraid of being haunted by the Vircolicus that they were sure would rise, that they took to beheading or cremating the dead. And to this day, the folklore of the Vircolicus remains alive in many areas across Greece, with many in rural areas still firmly believing that they exist. Even in more mainstream Greek culture, the legends have echoed into tradition, with the Greek custom of never answering the first knock on the door, directly stemming from the tales of these revenants going from house to house. It is all very spooky lore and syncs with a lot of the myths of vampires in other countries. There's no way to know what grain of truth any of this holds, but it is certainly all a lot of bizarre lore, and adds to the nearly universal legends of the undead we like to call vampires. Wow, that's right. Man, this guy can spin a yarn, I'm telling you.
Yes, he can.
Oof. I love his work.
You know, that sounds a lot like Skinwalkers, though, when they were talking about, how they became that way, living an unclean life, doing immoral things,
Right. Yes, so, it really does.
And then also, they said short of murder, they literally, that was the only thing, murdering your family or a family member or somebody, a loved one.
Right.
Which is supposedly a bruja that goes towards the Skinwalker, lore. But then Rachel says something about she had a book. She remembers a book she read about a boy who would put on a fox belt and turn into a werefox.
Oh, wow.
Which harkens back to the German werewolf stories of where they would have these wolf belts. And when they would put the wolf belt on, they would take on the aspects of the wolf. Remember?
Do I remember?
Yeah, you read it.
I'm sure I do remember.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
I'm just sure this side of not sick, so I mean, all my faculties aren't quite there.
Yeah, we've gone over that in a werewolf show, too. So, yeah, it was...
That does sound very familiar, yep. So I'm sure that you're right. But, then again... I think your memory is probably better than mine in a lot of cases.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you thought I was talking to you?
What?
I'm talking to my imaginary friends.
K.
All right, but so what do we got left here? I got to look at the clock.
Just like 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's like 10 minutes. So I guess we'll return to that article and just read a couple more of those fantastic, weird things that kids are saying, because it's a great way to end the show. So I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm going to read some more of this moneymade.com article that's talking about creepy kids horror, things that they've said. And it's an aggregated article from Moneymade.
Curated.
Yeah, it's curated from Reddit, so a lot of things are in there. And it's just things people wrote down. Hard to know what's true and what's not, but at any rate, they're entertaining. And that's what we like to do here on the portal. So, number 32 on our list, it's a short one. Leader of the pack. My little sister, 7 years old, always talks about eating people and how blood tastes just like metal, which tastes good in her opinion. I don't even know.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's not a good thing. I don't think that's by Funny Slayer 1010. There's nothing funny about any of that.
Rachel says The Werefox by Elizabeth Coatsworth. Original title, Pure Magic, 1973.
Wow. Okay. I find that interesting because there are, even in Japan, there's legends of apparently a fox spirit that can become a human,
right?
And can talk and visit with people, and then it's also a white fox.
Yeah, if we could only get our friend Brent Schwanzer on maybe he could tell us about it.
Yeah, he and I have talked about that a little bit. I said I'd love to hear more of the lore and legends from Japan because those stories are very, very interesting. But number 33, Ghostly Lullaby. My daughter Madison told me at around age of 3 about Kellum, the man with brown pants and a yellow shirt that played with her. I assumed it was an imaginary friend because, well, that's what kids do. Then one day she starts singing a song I'd never heard before. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. Then she'd mumble a few words and pick back up with a bicycle built for two. I assumed she'd heard it from her babysitter, but when I asked her about it, the babysitter tells me she thought my husband and I taught her the song because she didn't know it either. So I asked my daughter where she'd heard the song, and she tells me, Kellum taught it to me. He sings it to his baby. Eventually, Kellum faded away. Fast forward to about 5 years ago, I'm telling the story to a coworker who recognized the song as an old tune called Bicycle Built for Two.
Yep.
That prompted us to start looking on Ancestry.com at my property address history. I started following rabbit holes and found out that in the 40s, a man named Callum Beasley owned the property next to ours, and he was the father of 5 children. Youngest died at age 3, and her name was Madeline. Wow, that's really wild. Hoof_hearted had done that article, but that's pretty crazy. Number 34, Bumble Boy. When he was around 2.5, my son and I were driving home at night. Car seats were in the front then, and this was 30 years ago. He turned to me and said, I'm not from here. And I asked him where he was from. He explained to me that our world is a bubble amongst countless other bubbles. He said he was from another bubble. I don't think I even answered him. That's from Crayold Lady.
Wow. Gosh.
Do you know is Paisley doing a show tonight?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me ask. Are you?
That's pretty cool because what are the odds of a 2.5-year-old knowing something about like a multiverse?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I got to admit, if any of my children had said that at 2.5, I would have been pretty convinced they knew something that they weren't supposed to know.
Right.
Wow. That's really powerful. Number 35, so much for early detection. I have a cousin who we literally call Satan because he's the evilest creature you could ever encounter. He once said he wanted to kill someone because it would be fun to watch the victim to struggle while taking their last breath.
Wow.
Jesus, that's not what you want to hear from a kid. Let's call him M. Once, while his mom and I were cleaning their house, M convinced his younger brother, who was 4 years old at the time, to drink a glass of Clorox bleach in one go. The poor kid took a large gulp of the glass and immediately realized he shouldn't have done that and had to undergo a gastric lavage and suffered from serious burns to his mouth and esophagus, all while M was laughing his face off. The sad part is M's parents still think his behavior is acceptable because he doesn't know better, and they keep saying he'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
Probably not.
He'll grow into somebody else's skin. I like it a little roomy. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it puts the lotion in the bucket kind of thing. That's what he's going to grow into. Oh, that's twisted. Oof, that gives me the willies.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Number 36, the sky's the limit.
Oh gosh.
I have twin daughters. One day while playing outside, one looked up at the sky and said, "The sky is cracked and it's on fire." My other daughter looked up and said, "Yeah, the people are screaming." then went back to playing with dolls. Fingers crossed they're not predicting the future, everybody.
Here we go with another burning, scorched earth.
I know.
Oh, my God.
What are these kids getting into? Are they eating paint chips or what's going on here? Hyperion wins again. Submitted that one to the list. Number 37. How are we doing on time? Oh, a little bit more. My sons were about 2 and 4 when their pet goldfish died. I attempted to use the situation as an opportunity to discuss death and mortality, and after I finished my explanation, my 4-year-old looked up at me with his big blue eyes and asked, "Mommy, someday will you die?" My heart filled with love and a little sadness, knowing that this was one of those pivotal moments when the first bit of childhood innocence was lost. And I told him, yeah, someday Mommy will die. Good, he said, with a total deadpan expression, and walked out of the room. Later, when we were about to flush the fish, he asked if we could eat him instead. I said, no, we don't eat pets because we love them. And he said, when you die, I'm going to eat you.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
The person didn't leave their name. Wonder why.
Me neither.
Oh, my God. That is so troubling. Oof. Number 38, prank calls. A couple of years ago, my older sister, 14, and I, 11 at the time, were watching our 4-year-old sister. She was always a little weird and said weird stuff, but nothing too bad. Anyway, my sister and I were watching a movie and fell asleep by accident. When my mom got home, she started screaming and shaking us to wake up. Turns out that while we were asleep, my mom must have called to check in on us, and my little sister picked up and said, I had to do it, Mommy. I had to kill them all. I cut Sissy's throat and then hung up.
Oh, my God.
It still scares me sometimes.
What the hell is wrong with these kids?
Ay, ay, ay.
That's just weird.
These kids need some Jesus.
Oh.
_ I'm too sad for this. Submitted that. Shit. Number 39, just a little PSA. I was on a bus recently and we were stopped outside a walk-in clinic. A little girl in the seat in front of me turned around and said, "Death is the poor man's doctor." And that was that.
Wow.
Oh my God, that was by X_Y_Z. Yeah, that's that'd make you change seats, I think.
Yeah, because I'd have to change pants. Wow.
Number 40, what's wrong with recycling, Don?
I don't know. Is it Soylent Green?
When my young...
I hear it tastes different from person to person.
Ooh. When my young daughter sat and pondered for a while, then informed me that if her slightly older brother dies, she wants his skeleton so it doesn't go to waste.
What is she going to do? Prop up her tent with it?
I don't know. That's a lot of good calcium right there. Bob Dobb 123 USA wrote that one. Number 41, when reality and belief collide. My almost 2-year-old was in his room chattering to himself before his nap. I was listening to him on the monitor, and he was saying things like, "I'm sleeping, Grandma. Okay, Grandma," etc. I went in to try to reset him so he'd fall asleep. He did, by the way, and asked who he was talking to, and he said, "Grandma." I asked, "Grandma V?" my mother-in-law's grandparent name. And he said, "No, not Grandma. Grandma." I gave him a confused look, and he clarified, "Grandma Baba." My mother's name was Barbara, and she had been dead for 8 years at that point. My son had never heard me refer to her before. I was oddly not freaked out, though it does screw a bit of my atheist outlook. Yeah. That was by Anchored to Hope. Wow. Well,
an atheist anchored to hope.
Yeah. Maybe they're hopeful about the whole atheism thing. Like, expect prayer for the worst, but hope for the best kind of thing.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe. Just saying.
Is that like a Sunday Christian?
Yeah, well, the world's full of those. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been
time?
Our absolute pleasure.
Wow.
Yes. Literally, it's like 2 minutes till the end of the show.
That's true.
Did you find out if she's doing a show?
She hasn't answered me back, so okay. I guess I don't know.
Well, stick around for Paisley Wild coming up next. We assume she's probably doing a show.
Yeah, she's still kind of sick too. So.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah, she's still got a little
okay. Well,
headache, oddly enough.
play it by ear, I guess.
Yeah,
She might be on, following us on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And you can check out her live shows when she is live on youtube.com/thespacesbetween. Or the spaces between, right? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Anything in closing, Don?
She's in chat right now. She says, I'm here. Are you doing a show? I don't know.
Are you doing a show?
She must be. She's sitting in front of my computer in my studio.
I'm here. So she's there. She's getting
one.
ready to go live following us, folks.
There you
go. Good deal. Great to see you all again. Yes. Thank you for your patience in my absence. I'm thrilled my voice held it together for the whole run. It's been great, but remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And talk to you tomorrow night. Good night.
Good night.